Hello. Look, before you go, because I know that you probably landed here. Well, look, let me go on my learning from my first video. 10 people watched it. Yeah, I got the double figures. And of those 10, only one person actually has subscribed. Now, you might look and think, hang on, that's misleading. He's got 2 subscribers. And you'd be right. But one of those subscribers is me, which I know is very sad, isn't it? I don't know whether it makes it more sad that the person who's done that is a person with borderline personality disorder. I don't want to bring the condition into ill repute by making it sound like it's really sad, and only really sad people who would subscribe to their own channel suffer from this. But I guess it raises the question for me, which is why would 10 people watch and then not fucking subscribe? Why would you do that? Well, it's clear, because ultimately, whatever I was doing on the first one, I wasn't engaging with anyone that was watching it, apart from Jaden, thank you. And so let me be really clear about why I think there is a benefit for me to make videos on this subject, and a benefit for people other than just me. That is that from me you get a perspective I don't think you're going to get from too many others on YouTube on this subject. So if you do a search on BPD, which inevitably you would have done, that's how you've landed here, you will notice a couple of things. Number one, there aren't many 50-year-olds talking about it. There are a few, but not many. And actually, if you do find some, they're probably women, because the majority of people talking about this condition on YouTube are female. Not everybody, but most. And so therefore I kind of I sit in a minority group, which is I'm male, that's one, and number two is I'm 52. Now that means that you could just switch off now, couldn't you, and think, oh fuck, I'm not interested in what he wants to talk about. What's it got to do with me? I'm half his age, whatever you might be, a third or whatever. But actually it could be of use. I'm not saying it definitely would be, but I'm happy to share with you the numerous things I've fucked up in my life as a result of this, right, and not dealing with it. And I would hope that certainly someone who's younger can listen to this and what I have to tell, the story I tell over the forthcoming videos, and think, Jesus Christ, here I have a roadmap ahead provided by this person. I can now see all the things that I shouldn't do in order to have a happy life, or a better life than I might otherwise have. So I'll be quite happy to share with you all of the mistakes, all of the chaos that are littered across my past, which have ended up in me being in a position now where, having worked fucking hard really for 30 odd years and earned a fair bit of money too, I end up in a 2-bedroom flat that I rent with a fucking shitload of debt. Now you'll probably think, yeah, 20 grand, 30 grand. No, just about under £100,000 in debt, and I'm unable to pay any of it. So I'm on the brink of bankruptcy, not quite yet. So I would say, look, give it a go. Just have a listen to what I talk about over the forthcoming videos. And, if you think, well, actually, the guy's a bloody idiot, there's no way I'm going to do the stuff he did or make the same mistakes, then great, good for you. And no, fine, don't listen. But if actually you're listening and you do kind of think, if you just take one thing out, think, right, I was going to do that, but I won't. Or I wasn't going to do this, but he also didn't do that, and look at the fucking state of him. That could be your reason, all right, for watching. So what am I going to talk about in these videos? Well, everything really that's happened to me. I'm not scripted on any of this stuff. I did try that, and I tried it on my other channel. I was trying to mix the subject matter of my other channel in with this, and it of course doesn't work. But hence why I've started up this channel with my 2 subscribers, one being me. But fuck, no, I've forgotten what I was going to say. But let me just be clear. So I don't know what I've said in the last video, because one of the things, or one of the symptoms I have of BPD, which I have very badly, is an absolutely fucking shit memory. So I don't know what I've said in the other video. I've got no idea what I've already told you. There's every chance that you have, even if you didn't subscribe after listening to the first one, and you only listened to the first minute of it, there's every chance you know far better than I do what I actually talked about. You might be sitting there thinking now, Jesus Christ, he's talking about the same stuff. This is what he said in the first video. And if I did, I'm sorry. So I'm going to talk, I think, in my next video about self-harm, cutting, whatever you kids refer to it as these days. But I'm going to talk to you about that. And before I do that, let me give you some kind of background. So at 52, I have been married 3 times, divorced 3 times. I've had numerous other relationships in addition to being married. I have now been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. That's in the last few months. I've also been diagnosed with obsessive compulsive disorder. I'll talk about that on another video, how that manifests itself with me. And I've been diagnosed with ADHD, a somewhat late diagnosis, true, 52 years old. You don't really expect to hear that, do you? But I have been, and I'm taking a central nervous system stimulant thing, methylenidate, which is, I think, known as Concerta, generally speaking. And I'm taking that, which appears to be working, I think, fairly well. So that's my kind of life in a nutshell. The reason I ended up getting this diagnosis actually is because I was just on that point of killing myself about 6 months ago. I was talked out of it by my girlfriend. And I'm pleased I was, because if I'd done that, I would have left behind 7-year-old twins who I've got a very close relationship with, who I pretty much would have destroyed by doing that. So I'm really pleased that she stopped me. I'm also really pleased that, however it happened, I seemed to gain enough motivation. And I have to say, it wasn't just about motivation, it's about tenacity to really push for treatment with the NHS. And it's taken, some refusals and some knockbacks, some diversions, until I finally arrived at a psychiatrist who actually gave a shit, who actually listened, and who diagnosed me just recently. Okay, so that's that. Look, what am I going to do in future videos? Because, there's only so much I can talk about what I've done. What I'll do, I think, is, we'll play it by ear. But I will more than likely talk about what's going on in my life, because probably compared to most 52-year-olds, it's uncommon. I don't suppose too many 52-year-olds are in my position. I would like to suggest that if they're not in prison or dead, they're probably in a better position than I am. But I aspire to not be quite so deeply in the shit as I am at the moment, at some point in the future. Anyway, there you go. So I'm talking for 9 minutes about fuck all again. It would be great if you subscribed. So I got, a conversion of 1 out of 10, which I am very grateful for. It would be brilliant if I could get another person to subscribe and listen to these videos that I shall make. Okay, bye-bye. Remember, subscribe and like the video, please. Please.